Let's talk about Linux. When you hear that word, what do you see? You probably picture a guy in a hoodie. He's in a dark basement. He hasn't seen the sun in 3 days. He's typing glowing green text onto a black screen. This is the myth. It's the idea that Linux and all this open source stuff is just for super nerds. It's for people who speak a language you don't understand. It's a secret club, and you, a normal person, are not invited. This story is old, it's tired, and by 2026, it is completely, spectacularly wrong. The truth is, you're already in the club. You just don't know it. You probably used Linux about 5 times before you even finished your morning coffee. That phone in your pocket? Your Android phone runs on a Linux kernel. That show you streamed last night? Linux. Open source software is not some niche hobby. It is the plumbing of the entire digital world. It is the invisible infrastructure holding up the internet, your job, and your social life. This isn't a prediction. It's the reality today in 2026. So we're going to look at the world of Linux and open source software as it stands right now. We will bust some myths. We will look at the real situation. We will cover the big topics. First, let's tackle the big one: servers. Myth number 1. People think the big tech companies run their empires on their own secret software. They imagine a vault at Microsoft or Apple. Inside is a magical operating system that powers everything. They think Linux is just for small-time projects or universities. It's the underdog, a scrappy fighter that can't compete with the corporate giants. This myth suggests that serious, enterprise-level business is a closed-source game. It paints a picture where proprietary code is the only thing strong enough to handle the pressure of the global economy. Here's the reality, our bet number 1. Linux isn't just winning the server market, it is the server market. In 2026, it's not even a competition. Almost every major website, every new startup builds its foundation on Linux. Why? Because it's powerful, it's stable, and it's free. Companies can take it, modify it, and build on top of it without asking for permission. This gives them incredible flexibility. The biggest companies in the world, the ones you think are all about closed systems, are some of the biggest users of Linux. It runs their data centers. It powers their services. It is the engine under the hood of the entire digital economy. Now let's talk about the cloud. Myth number 2 is that the cloud is a magical place. You click a button, and your files go poof into the sky. It's a brand name, like Amazon AWS, Google Cloud, or Microsoft Azure. You think you're buying a product from that one company. The myth is that these companies built their own unique digital worlds from scratch. You believe that when you use their services, you are fully inside their proprietary ecosystem. You are renting a room in a house that they designed and built all by themselves, with their own special tools. But the reality is, bet number 2. The cloud is built on open source. The house is made of open source bricks. The operating system running the vast majority of virtual machines in the cloud is Linux. The tools used to manage all those containers, like Kubernetes, are open source. Let's move on to the topic everyone is talking about: artificial intelligence. The myth here, myth number 3, is that AI is being invented behind the closed doors of a few giant tech companies. You hear about a new model from Google or OpenAI, and you assume they built it in a secret lab. You think that to create real AI, you need $1 billion budget and a team of geniuses locked away from the world. The myth says innovation is a top-down process. It flows from a handful of powerful corporations to the rest of us. It's a technology owned and controlled by a select few. The reality is so much more exciting. Bet number 3 for 2026. Open source is the engine of the AI revolution. Yes, big companies release major models, but the tools to build, train, and run AI are overwhelmingly open source. Frameworks like TensorFlow, PyTorch. They are the shovels, the pickaxes of the AI gold rush, and they are free for anyone to use. New, powerful open source models are released by startups, universities, research groups all the time. This lets everyone participate. It lets researchers stand on the shoulders of giants. it prevents a few companies from dominating the future of this technology. Myth number 4, open source is unsafe. If the code is open, bad guys can see it too. They can find flaws. They can plan attacks. A closed source system is like a black box, harder to understand, so supposedly safer. People worry about supply chain attacks, malicious code in a popular package that spreads everywhere. It's a legitimate fear. But the reality is nuanced. Bet number 4, open source security is a massive, ongoing battle, and defenders are getting smarter. The same openness that scares people is also its greatest strength. Many eyes. Thousands of developers looking at the same code spot problems faster. By 2026, the focus on software supply chain security is intense. Companies' foundations are investing millions into tools that scan code, verify its origin, and check for vulnerabilities automatically. It's not perfect. No software is. But open source isn't inherently less secure. Its security model is transparent, and fixes happen out in the open. All right, let's bring it home. To your own computer. For decades, we've heard about the year of the Linux desktop. Myth 5 is that this year will finally be the year that Linux takes over our laptops, PCs. It's a dream that never seems to come true. People say it every year. They predict that users will finally abandon Windows Mac OS for a free and open alternative. The myth is that Linux is on the verge of a mainstream breakthrough. It's just one killer app, one perfect update away from conquering the home computer market. Here is the cold, hard reality check. Bet 5. 2026 is still not the year of the Linux desktop, and that's okay. Linux on the desktop will continue to grow slowly and steadily, but it will not dethrone the giants. Its growth is happening in important niches. Developers, scientists. People who value privacy and control gaming on Linux, thanks to tools like Proton, is better than ever. But for the average person who just wants to run Microsoft Office, Adobe Photoshop without any fuss, the barrier is still there. But its success isn't measured by beating Windows. It's measured by providing a powerful, stable, free alternative for those who need it. But let's look at a different kind of desktop, the one in a workshop. Myth 6 is that hardware innovation, the world of gadgets, 3D printers, custom electronics, is driven by big companies like Apple designing sleek, sealed products. The myth is that making things is for professionals with expensive equipment and proprietary software. You buy a finished product. You use it as intended. You are a consumer, not a creator. The world of physical objects, the myth says, is locked down. You can't just tinker with your smart thermostat, your drone. The reality is a creative explosion. Bet 6 is that the maker movement is powered almost entirely by open source. Tiny, cheap computers like the Raspberry Pi Arduino. Now for a plot twist you might not expect. Let's talk about governments. Myth 7. Governments are afraid of open source. Wild, uncontrollable, a security risk. Governments prefer large, established corporations. They want a contract. They want a phone number to call when something breaks. For national security, for stability, the default is expensive proprietary software from big contractors. Locked down, controlled, predictable. Open source seems too chaotic. Surprise! The reality is the opposite. Bet 7. Governments are becoming champions of open source. It's happening all over the world. Europe, Asia. First, cost. Licensing fees versus free alternatives. Third, sovereignty. Avoiding foreign vendor lock-in. Using and supporting open source lets governments control their digital infrastructure. Governments are not just using it, they are funding it and making it a core national tech strategy. This shifts things inside companies. Myth 8. Open source is just for tech people. Managers, executives, marketing team. It's treated as an IT-only issue. That wall is crumbling. Bet 8. The rise of the Open Source Program Office, OSPO. Companies now have departments dedicated to open source. Let's follow the money. Myth 9. You can't make money with open source. If the software is free, how can anyone build a business? It feels like charity, developers coding in spare time. The myth says open source and profit are opposites. You can have one or the other. That makes people think it's not a real career or economic model. Reality. Open source is a massive business. Bet 9. The model is different. Companies don't sell the software itself. They sell services around the software: support, consulting, training, cloud hosting, software preset and managed. Example, Red Hat, bought by IBM for $34 billion, built from free Linux into enterprise services. 2026. The open source economy is booming. Companies provide expertise and confidence for big businesses. Myth 10. Coding is a purely human act of creation. That software will always be built by people typing lines. Bet 10. By 2026, AI begins writing open source code. Not sentient machines. Relax. AI assistants can take requests like build a website with a login and generate starter code. These tools are trained on billions of lines of open source code. They learn patterns. They learn how to build. Developers shift roles, from typist to editor or architect, guiding AI and fixing mistakes. The future. Collaboration between humans and AI building software together. So, after busting all those myths, what is the real story of Linux and open source in 2026? It's simple. It's not a secret club for nerds anymore. It is the fundamental, essential, and often invisible foundation of our modern digital world. It runs the servers that deliver your entertainment. It powers the cloud that stores your data. It provides the tools that are driving the AI revolution. It is used by the biggest corporations. It is used by the most powerful governments on the planet. The idea that open source is a small, niche rebellion against big tech is a story from another time. The rebellion won, and now it runs the place. This doesn't mean everything is perfect. The world of open source faces real challenges. Security is a constant battle. Ensuring maintainers get paid and don't burn out is a huge problem. The influence of giant corporations raises important questions about who really has control. The future isn't a utopia. It's a complex and messy collaboration between individuals, communities, corporations. The reality of 2026 is that open source has become too important to ignore. It is no longer just an IT issue. It's a business strategy. It's a matter of national security. It's a force shaping our society. The myths of the past, it's insecure, unprofitable, just for hobbyists, are holding people back. The truth is that this collaborative way of building things is resilient, innovative, here to stay. It is the default way that new technology is now built. So, what does this mean for you? Here is one clear, practical next step. If you're a student, learn about it. If you're in business, ask your tech teams about your company's open source strategy. If you're just a curious person, get an old laptop and try installing a user-friendly version of Linux like Ubuntu or Mint. You just have to be willing to look under the hood of the modern world. Because in 2026, understanding the basics of open source is like understanding how the economy works. It's the system running in the background of everything. Let's separate the myths from the reality. And I promise you won't need a secret password to get in.